Hi, I'm Bob Vila. Welcome to this old house, where today we're kind of down to the wire, down to the last 20% of things that have to get accomplished around here. We're going to be installing a greenhouse window on the back of the house, and inside we'll be concentrating on finish work, ceramic tile, all sorts of fun things. Don't go away.
This Old House is brought to you by a grant from Owens Corning Fiberglass, makers of pink fiberglass insulation, fiberglass roofing shingles, Energy Shield sheathing, and other Owens Corning building products that put houses in the pink.
We made a lot of progress around here. What do you think of all the plaster? Hi, Kevin. Of course, we've got about 10 carpenters working on it. We're trying to get everything finished, but boy, is it looking nice. A couple of days ago, the three of us, Norm, Frank the homeowner, and I, got together to install this beautiful walk-in bay window. Take a look. Norm, this walk-in glass bay is really going to make the stair hall. I mean, the amount of light that will come down all the way to the front door practically is unbelievable.
That's right.
Now tell me, how did you frame this whole affair here?
Well, when we framed the floor, first of all, we cantilevered the floor joist out, so this actually hangs off of the building.
Part of all the new joists that just hang up beyond the building.
Right.
And then what about this?
This is a curb to keep the windows up off the floor.
Right.
With just simple corner post up here, and then a very light frame across the top.
There's hardly any frame here at all, but it is extraordinarily sturdy. How'd you do that?
It's sturdy, well, it's well nailed together. There's plates that hold it together. And the thing that's most important is that I had to frame it very precisely, like within a 1/16 of an inch.
Really?
Otherwise, all the components of the unit will not fit together properly.
Well, I'm sure it'll be perfect. Can we look at those components now?
Sure, they're right over here in the master bedroom.
Oh, boy.
The biggest piece that we have is this triple unit, which will be right out on the front of the unit, and it has an operating casement on each end and a fixed panel in the middle.
That's really important, because there's going to be a lot of solar gain right in that area, and if you can't crank them open, you're not going to get a breeze through there.
That's right. And these are double glazed. There's a single glass panel that's built right into the window, and then a second panel that gets installed on the inside.
And that can be removed for cleaning the windows.
That's right.
Right. Good. Then what about these trapezoidal pieces over here?
They'll go on each side, and again, the idea, it gives us as much glass area as possible. These are 5/8 inch insulated glass, and they're tempered as well as all the glass in the window.
What does that mean?
Well, that's a safety factor, because anything that's closer than 18 inches to the floor must be tempered, that in case someone should
Walk
bump
into it.
and it breaks, that they would not get injured as severely.
Right, because the glass won't crash down. It'll crumble down in little pieces like ice cubes, kind of.
right.
Okay. Then what about the top?
Okay, the top will be skylights, and we have 3 of those, and pick one of these up.
Oh, boy, yeah, that's like a V8 engine.
Now, this has an insect screen, also operates so that it opens. Here's our operator. And we'll bank 3 of these together right on top, and that'll provide our roof.
But look at how precisely made they are. I mean, it's really beautifully put together. Now, what goes in first?
Okay, the first thing to go in is the biggest piece.
Which is probably a lot heavier than this.
It is.
I'll go find Frank, okay? Yeah. Oh, Frank!
Okay, Bob.
All right, you got it, Frank?
Yep. Oh. Back up here.
You know, I was just noticing this thing on the end of it. What is this?
Oh, Bob, that was sent to me by a friend of the show. And it's actually like a window clip. You just tack it on the side of the window so that when you put it in, it'll hold the window so it won't fall out.
So you could install this all by yourself
That's
if you
right.
could just lift it up down. That's a great idea. We ought to send him a hat and a T-shirt.
Sure.
Okay. Now, where do we go
now
next?
we
Wait a
get-
minute. Let's do a little directing here.
Get it up on top of these planks.
On the planks.
Okay, let me
Want
get
me
up
in
on
the inside?
planks. Yeah, you can go on the inside. Just slide it on the plank. Now, there's not very much extra space to get this in. Frank, you have to lean the bottom and rest it right on the frame there, not too far in. Okay, and if, Bob, you could grab the top.
I've got a hold of it, yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Right, slide the
Now,
bottom
the
in.
bottom's got to come in a little.
Beautiful.
You got a level? Or do you need one?
I don't think we have to. The frame is so level that it's going to be... Just make sure the window is centered in the opening. And I'll tack it in. How's that, Bob?
Well, I think it needs to move about 1/8 of an inch.
All right, let me just tack this here.
Yeah, get one tack in. Okay. All right, Norm, what's the next piece we put on?
The next piece of the ends are the trapezoids.
Okay.
So let's get
Grab those.
All right, now those should fit right in there.
You want to put this one in first?
Yeah. Lift it up.
There. And now will the clips hold it? Yeah? Good. Frank, ready on this side?
There it goes.
Okay. We're in. Okay.
Push it in.
Good.
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 Like this one. That's good. All right, let me put a tack in that. Okay, I think that's pretty good. How's it
We're all
going?
set here.
All set?
Tack that in a little bit. All right, now for the skylights.
That's right. Okay, we'll hand that big one up to Bob first.
Okay. They're all three the same size, aren't they?
No, the middle one's a little smaller.
Oh, okay. Where's that one go, Norm?
That one goes right here
In here.
on this end. Rest up on that ledger. Look down a little so you can clear the soffit, okay?
Okay.
And
Get your fingers out.
yeah,
Let go, Frank. I've got it.
ahead, Frank.
Okay.
Right there. That's it.
Slide
Slide
it
it over to the edge.
Okay. Great.
All right. Okay, now the small one. And we can bring that other one out too.
Okay. Watch your fingers.
Okay.
I see what you mean about precision. They are lining up perfectly even.
Okay, one more.
Okay.
Yeah. Push it down
Hands
towards
clear?
us, Bob. Good.
Great.
Beautiful.
What do you think, guys?
Take a look at it.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, this is unbelievable. This is super. It opens and, oh boy.
Well, it doesn't open yet. It's going to take a while to do all the fine tuning here, isn't it?
A few more hours, nail it all together, put all the flashing on the outside, and be ready to
Oh,
go.
Mary Jane is going to love it. She's going to love it.
Great. Well, here is Mary Jane, our homeowner, who's really going to get the great benefit of having this wonderful walk-in bay window.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Don't you love it?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
In the middle of winter, you'll have enough sunlight coming in here that you'll be able to probably, maybe start some seedlings. That would be nice. And they've done so much in here. They've got the light fixtures in place, but more
Right.
importantly, the whole second floor is now all plastered.
Do you believe this? I've never
Yeah.
seen anything like the
Yeah.
plasters at work. This is like glass.
Yeah, they do a
It's incredible.
fantastic job. Well, tell me, I haven't seen you in a few days. What have you been keeping busy with?
I've been paying bills. And the bills are
No
starting
painting, no
to come
hammering,
in.
just writing checks?
No, I've been working in the bathroom
Yeah.
with Frank, and I've been writing checks. We're just about at 40,000 right
Ooh,
now. And I wrote about $6,000 worth of checks yesterday, and I started thinking, this is a lot of money. And then I came upstairs, and I started smiling.
It's a lot of
I said,
house.
This is gorgeous.
It's wonderful. So you're
Yeah.
still on good terms with the mortgage company or the bank, right?
At the moment.
Super. Hey, listen, why don't we check in into the bathroom over here? I know Richard, the plumber, showed up, and
Yes.
he's getting some things installed here. Hi, Richard.
Beautiful
Hi, how are
fixtures.
you?
Good.
Come on in.
This is really first class.
I got to commend you on your selection of plumbing fixtures.
Yeah,
It
I
is
like
just a
it too.
beautiful, beautiful piece. The manufacturer has put accent stripes and baked them right into the china finish. They match the tile, and it really gives a beautiful appearance.
Wow, such a nice sleek design on that lavatory.
You know, pedestal lavatories have really come into favor lately. As more people are designing storage space into the bathroom, they really will go for the pedestal lavatory look.
Separate storage space so that you don't need a
Right.
vanity.
Right,
Yeah.
and it's easy to keep clean underneath.
This is a nice closet you put in here, because it'll be all shelves and you can have all the shampoo in the
Right.
world stuck
I
in there.
like linen closets.
Yeah, and you
I
don't have to
like
worry
that
about
look.
cleaning in a dark vanity down there. Tell me about the faucet.
Isn't it attractive?
Beautiful.
It's a really piece of quality workmanship. This is just a sample of, just feel the quality and the millwork on that.
Oh, it's heavy.
Isn't that beautiful?
Great.
Look at the threading in there.
And really a
Okay.
good tip is to
Yeah.
invest in the better quality faucet. You're going to use this thousands and thousands
Yeah.
of times over
Yeah.
life.
And avoid callbacks over the
Right.
course of, 6
Yeah.
months later. Now tell me about the water closet over here.
Well, we're ready to go. Again, the matching stripe is right into the finish. This is a one-piece toilet.
What's the advantage of a one-piece toilet?
It's going to give you a lower profile, and it's also going to be easier to clean. You know, a separate tank and bowl will have a seam connection here that can collect germs right here.
But it's aesthetics, I guess.
It really is. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful looking piece, isn't it?
Terrific. Now you've got your wax ring in there and everything's ready to go?
If you can give me a hand, Mary Jane, you hold this because we don't want to break that.
Sure. All right, let's move it into place.
Let's lift it right up, and we'll set it right down. Let me just step over it. Now that wax ring is very, very important to protect against sewer gas leaking out into the room. Okay.
All right, the ceramic tile surround on the tub also came out beautifully. I must congratulate you.
Oh, Frank and I have never done anything like this before, and we did have some expert help, but we worked on it, and we're really proud of it. We did the grouting on
Yeah.
the floor, we
Yeah.
did everything.
But we just completed the tub surround the other day and we had quite a bit of help. Let's take a look. You got so many tiles to choose from. You pick them out at the store, you get home with them, and you feel differently about them. That's often what happens.
No, not in this case.
You still like these gray tiles.
I love this. Sterling silver was kind of an intimidating name,
It
but
is.
it's incredibly pretty. It's got a coordinated tub and a sink and floor tile and wallpaper. It's gorgeous.
Well, let's get together with Christy Stadelmeyer, our tile consultant, who
Hi,
will
Christy.
not only tell us more about them, but will show us how to install them. Hi, Christy.
Hi, Bob.
Tell me about all this.
Well, the manufacturer of the fixtures has gotten together with the tile manufacturer and come up with a coordinated package, which is wonderful. We've got the floor tile, which has a crystalline finish,
Yeah.
a slip-resistant finish for the floor.
Yeah.
And then for the walls, we've got this wonderful, again, matching sheet of tile.
Isn't that terrific? Now, this is ceramic tile, and there's 9 of them all ready joined. How do they do
Joined
that?
together with silicone,
Is
and
there anything special about that?
absolutely. It goes up very easily, obviously. In one sheet, you put up 9 pieces instead of 1.
Yeah.
And then the maintenance is wonderful on this. No more mildew, no more rot, no more black lines where your grout is. It just stays white, the
That
same
really,
color it is.
really is true. Huh? You won't get mildew in the grout lines if they're made of silicone.
It's got a fungicide in it, and it takes care of most of the problems that you usually have in a moist area.
That's wonderful. Now, what's the story here?
Now, this is really exciting. We also have a matching wallpaper to our fixture and our ceramic tile.
Very elegant. So the whole bathroom is going to kind of be grays, right?
Yeah, well, I think we can pick it up with the towels and, pick up
Yeah.
your accents and
Yeah.
pretty much do anything you want. There's
Yeah.
a nice little
The
burgundy
blue one, there's
line
a little
in
bit
there.
of a burgundy red line in there, yeah. So, well, that'll be the last thing that goes up in here. What's the first thing that we have to do in here?
Well, we're going to have to lay out this tub area, and since we have a window, that's going to be our starting point for the layout.
Do you start off with one of these 9 big sheets, or what?
Normally, you would just snap your line and just start out with the sheet of tile and start away you go, but here we've got a little bit of a special treatment, and we're going to have to
Because of the
start out.
window.
Right, and
Okay.
we've measured out, and what we're going to do is start out right in this corner and take care of the corner area, and we're going to go right up and cover the wood.
Now, what kind of a mastic are you using?
This is a wall mastic.
So you don't, it's ready mixed and it comes in a can, and there's nothing to mix.
And because the Ready Set system is water resistant, you don't have to worry about the moisture effect behind the tile. Normal grout, moisture can get through to some extent, but with the silicone, you don't have to worry about it.
But of course, here we're installing the tile right over a plaster wall. There's been about a 1/4 of an inch of plaster applied over the gypsum drywall, wallboard, I mean.
Find this little inside corner. It's a real subtle piece.
So you're using 3 corners in that situation.
Okay, what we want to do is notch this mastic so that we get just the proper amount of the material on. So not too much and not too little. Okay, now. And away we go. We've got almost half the wall done. In another 10 minutes, I bet we'll have this whole wall done.
Oh, that's nice.
Bob, I'm ready for another sheet. Aligning them this way is very easy when they're in a sheet.
You know, I like the 6-inch square too. I like the look of it.
Okay, what we'll do too is between these sheets where you see there's no silicone, what we'll do is use the same silicone that the factory used and fill in between those sheets.
So another sheet.
We'll do another.
Right?
We'll do sheet while we're rolling. We'll do sheets.
All right.
I'm going to give you the measurement of this little sliver in here. It looks like 1 3/8 inches.
All right. Let's try it. All right.
Great. Let's see. Looks a little big. Let's find a spot that we can put it into. Here we go. We'll fit it right in here. And then we'll make the next one a little shy of that measurement.
The corner's out of plumb, huh?
Yeah, I would say a little bit.
Oh my, look at this.
What do you think, Bob?
Terrific job. Looks absolutely spectacular. Only one question. How do you deal with the joints you still don't have any silicone in, like all over, wherever you have the big sheets coming together?
Oh, okay. That's very simple.
Right there, for example, there's a whole length of it that there's no silicone in.
Okay. We'll take this tube of silicone, which is the same thing they've used at the factory, and just caulk them with one.
There you go.
There we go.
Hey.
One steady,
Oh, look at that.
sweet.
Obviously, you've had some practice at this.
A little bit.
That's a very nice, even line. But what about if we get a little bit off the jointed onto the tile? Isn't the stuff awful difficult to clean up?
Silicone's a very tough product, but while it's still wet, it's very simple. You just grab some cheesecloth and wet it with denatured alcohol, and then take hopefully one swipe, and it'll push the silicone into the joint and clean up the joint at the same time.
Neat job.
And you won't be able to tell the field joints from the factory joints.
And that's what you do where all the large sheets come together. Then you'll never have any grout, so you'll never have any worries about mildew. Mary Jane, what do you think?
I think it's gorgeous.
You're going to be able to finish it up, you and Frank, and you can do the other bathroom too, right?
Right. I think we know how to do it now.
Terrific.
But I made Christy give me her telephone number.
Hey,
just
Christy,
in
thanks
case.
a lot.
Oh, you're welcome, Bob.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, one of the things we've been doing around here in the last couple of days is installing all the electrical devices. As a matter of fact, a couple of days ago, Buddy Bisnaugh, our electrician, actually gave me a couple of tips on how to put them in place. Take a look.
All right, Bob, come on in here and I'll show you how to put a switch in.
Okay.
right,
Now, the
here's a
switch that
this-
we're using here is
right.
different from what we're used to seeing.
Well, it's just a design line switch or a decor, but it operates exactly the same way.
This end is identical to a regular switch.
Correct, that's
All
correct.
right. 3 wires out of this new workbox. What do we...
First one you want to contend with is the bare wire, the ground wire.
That's the ground
Right.
wire.
You wrap that into a small loop clockwise,
All right.
then apply it to the green ground screw.
Right around there.
That's right. Then as you tighten that up, that'll tighten the wire up at the same time.
Mm-hmm. There.
Okay,
That's good and
fine.
tight.
Yep.
Now, the other two wires, which one do you go for first?
Well, it doesn't really matter which one you go with. There's no polarity involved in a switch.
You've already stripped this one
I've
back.
stripped that one. I've left this one for you. There's a small little gauge right there. If you insert it in there.
This groove here,
That's correct.
it gives you a measurement of how much of the insulation has to be removed.
That's right. And you can use this to strip it off with.
All right. Of course, you have to be careful not to
You don't want to cut the copper wire in
take
back
the
of it.
walk.
That's it. Perfect.
Then these two are
Wires,
attached to where?
They just insert inside these, what they call quick clicks.
All right.
You push them in.
Okay. There.
That's it. And do the other one. That's all there is to it now.
And that's done, right?
Put it in the wall. Make sure it says top now.
Oh, I got it upside down.
That's right.
Okay.
That doesn't make a difference. It's strictly for aesthetics, but you want to make it so
Well, then people are used to pushing up
up for on.
to turn on.
That's right.
Okay, so much for the switch. What about the smoke detectors?
We have that right over here, Bob. This is the smoke detector.
It is not a battery operated.
No, it's not. This is connected to household current. And this is the harness that you use to connect it up.
No, three wires. Huh?
That's right. You have the two for the household current, and then we have one for a signal wire, because they've opted to put another one in the basement.
So there's another one just like this down in the basement.
That's
and
correct.
If that one down there goes off, it immediately causes this one to go off.
And vice versa.
Good, good, good. Now,
Okay.
how do you put it up?
Right up in here.
It's going up in the ceiling.
Of the hallway, so that if there's ever a fire downstairs, the smoke is going to come right up the staircase, and it's going to activate this before it gets into the rest of the house.
Okay, so it's a good idea to put it at the highest ceiling point.
That's right.
And which wires go onto which wires?
Well, the white goes to the white wire, and the black wire goes to the black wire.
Now here I notice you can't just clip the wires in like we just did with the switch.
No, you have to hardwire the harness to the wires using wire nuts.
Okay.
And once you spin these on, they cause a good secure connection. And all you do is connect the white wire of the harness to the white wire of the house wiring.
And when you twist the two wires together, you twist them clockwise, the same direction that you're going to be driving the wire nut.
That's correct. And this is the tandem wire, or the signal wire.
All right, so now you've got the harness hardwired with the house current.
That's right.
And you've got the mounting plate up there on the ceiling. What's next?
Well, you just plug the smoke detector itself right in to the harness.
And once there's current to that point, it'll be activated.
That's right. There's a little indicating light right there. It glows
But
red.
how does it actually work, one of these things?
Well, there's a photoelectric cell in there. And if as smoke passes through the electric cell, it sets off the alarm.
Because it interrupts the beam.
That's right.
Okay, good. Well, the other beneficiary of all this wonderful work is the other homeowner. Frank, hiya.
Hi, Bob.
How's everything going?
Not great.
You haven't had a terrific week?
No, I've had an awful weekend.
Well, I haven't heard about anything bad. What
Well, Friday night, Mary Jane and I started tiling the floor in the other bathroom.
happened? You did a wonderful job, yeah.
Yeah, it really came out nice. It went down pretty easy. So Saturday morning, my job is to get this place tiled. And the first thing I had to do was to lay down this plywood underlayment.
Yes.
So I was very proud of myself, and I cut out the right holes and everything like that, and laid it down, and it fit just perfectly. And then I start nailing it down into the subfloor. And all of a sudden, I hear my daughter yelling from the basement, "Daddy, we have a problem." It was leaking down there. There was a big leak. So I ran down and turned off the shut-off valves and got the leak stopped, called Norm, and we had to rip out this plywood, rip out the floor. And what I had done is to drive a nail right through one of our water pipes.
Brand new copper pipe,
Brand
and
new
you put a
pipe.
nail in it, Frank?
That's the way it goes, right?
Gosh, that's too bad.
So,
Well, I guess those things happen, huh?
I suppose they do.
Tell me something.
Yeah.
If you had it to do it all over again, would you still sign up with us to do this much work on your own?
I'll tell you, I think I can understand why people pay professionals to do this kind of work.
Well, listen, you're doing a good job, and I guess you ought to get a little bit further along with this tile job so you can get the rest of the plumbing completed here. And why don't I take off and check in with a real professional? Let's check in with Norm now. Hey, Norm. Where are you? Hi, Norm.
Hey, Bob.
Is that the last one?
Just about the last one.
Good-looking doors. What kind of doors are these?
Bob, these are 6-panel pine paint grade doors,
Solid core.
right, pre-hung and pre-cased. The factory sends us the door, already set in a jamb, all cased, all these miters are made, so that saves me all the time of doing any of that work later.
That's wonderful, but how can they case it on both sides?
Well, but if you get on the other side, this is what they call a split jam. You can just pry it apart,
Yeah.
and that's how they get away with casing both sides. Plus, it gives me a little bit of variance for the thickness of the
A
wall.
fudge factor, yeah. So that makes it usable on different thickness walls all
Right.
over the place, yeah. Well, can I help you with this?
Okay, first we'll leave that back piece right against the wall. Take this section with the door and just pop it in the opening. And what we'll do is plumb it and just nail right through the casings, and I'll tack this corner first.
Okay.
Now we just plumb up the side casing, and that's good right there. And again, nail it right through the casing. Now with the butt side of the door plumb and secured, now I want to check the header for level. Okay, it's good, and we'll nail that. Now I'll secure the right-hand side of the door using this gap as a gauge all the way down.
Keeping it uniform.
That's right. Now what I want to do is secure the jambs to the studs using some pieces of wood as shims, so that that jam won't move around with the constant use of the door.
It's a real good idea. Not too many guys do that, but it helps. Okay, that looks really good. And what's next, Norm?
Next thing to do is to install the other half of the jam, and we just bring that over and slide it into place.
And we now see
And-
how a split jam works. Nothing to it. Okay, I'll let you finish that up. Before we go today, and we are running short of time, I've got a quick tip to share with you. This one was sent in by Robert Jacob, Rutland, Vermont. He writes, when painting porch or basement steps, mix some clean sand into the paint for better traction. That's a great idea. So, Robert, we're sending you a This Old House hat and a This Old House t-shirt. If any of you watching have a good idea like that that you want to share with our viewers, write it down on a card and send it along to Quick Tip, This Old House. WGBH Boston, Post Office Box 1985. That's Boston, Massachusetts 02134. Till next week, I'm Bob Vila for This Old House.
This Old House is brought to you by a grant from Owens Corning Fiberglass, makers of pink fiberglass insulation, fiberglass ceiling panels, bathing fixtures, and other Owens Corning building products that put houses in the pink.